Alright, what up guys? This is zippTHEzerker coming to you with a part 3 to my continued series, kind of talking about Gears of War, kind of the series in general, Gears of War 3 talk, kind of a little bit about the professional level or status of the game. And right off the bat, I want to say, if anyone watching this video hasn't checked out part 1 or part 2 first, just go ahead and swing on by and check those out if you want. It'll kind of catch you up to where I'm at in this video, or you can just keep watching if that's what you want to do. Either way, but first things first, I want to start off by saying, last video I kind of talked about the professional status of Gears of War, from 1 to 2 to 3. And I'm going to be kind of touching on that subject again here briefly in this video to just kind of shed some light on what I was trying to convey, the message I was trying to convey, so here it is. Last video I really said that Gears of War never really made it to professional status, which was kind of, it was wrong because it did. Gears of War 1 made it there for about, from 2007 to 2008, some dates in there, so anywhere from a year to 2 years. And then Gears of War 2 was up on the MLG circuit, I think, for about a year. And then I think Gears of War 3 was something like that. I couldn't really find that out. I mean, I didn't really try that hard, but because I played the shit out of Gears of War 3, I know why I didn't make it to the circuit. But anyways, last video kind of said it wasn't really a professional tier game. It did make it, but what I really meant by all that was, it made it to MLG, but it only made it to like MLG for like a year or two, and that doesn't really count, seeing as how Gears of War just, if the game, because this is really the tragedy of it all, is if the game doesn't have any problems, well, kind of like Gears of War 1 did. I mean, well, this is kind of hard to explain, Gears of War 1 had its problems, but the game was smooth enough and the gameplay was true enough and was fun enough to watch that it worked, And by the time Gears of War 2 came out, the devs, the game just had changed too much, And I mentioned devs, but I'll talk about that in a second. When Gears of War 2 hit, they really put emphasis on your rifle work. What you do with your Lancer or your hammer burst, really affected games. And a lot of people coming from Gears of War 1 to Gears of War 2 stated that they believe watching, games where you just sit here and cross isn't very fun. And, there's a reason why I picked this video. It's mostly because I feel like towards the later half of the game, I'm just sitting here crossing a lot, and it's not that interesting to watch. I feel like, I mean, Gears of War 3 kind of picked up the pace on some things, but overall, the reason why I mention this is because Gears of War after a while kind of got dull to watch. And then on top of the admins, or the people kind of taking care of the game, the whatever the fuck they're called, I can't remember, it just seems like they didn't really care. And if you guys want to know where I'm getting this information from, I'll have 2 links in the description. One's kind of a brief history on the competitive scene of Gears of War, and then the second one is kind of talking about Gears of War 3, why it hasn't made it. It talks about the responses of some of these developers, just no support, just not even trying to help out the game. It's just kind of sad, and the reason why I mention this real quick, even if it's in kind of a sloppy order, is because these kind of go along with video 2 as to why Gears of War never stayed on the professional scene, and that's the whole reason why I mentioned Gears of War 1, because it did make it there for about a year or two. Even though it was put together last minute, the gameplay to Gears of War 1 was true enough that it worked, Gears of War 2 changed it up a little too much. And then, I know Gears of War had its its issues with gameplay, as does 3, and as did 1. But the reason why I mention all this is because you know, in the last video I talked about how, you know, us Gears of War players kind of get the shaft, you know. I mean, we really do, you know, if you think about it, like, you know, just in terms of Gears of War 3, if you think about it, like, you know, like, let's think about depths, the map depths. Like, how many of you, if you know, I don't even know if I should ask this question, but, you know, how many of you know about the depths glitch, you know, with the piano? Just pull out a smoke and start twirling that son of a bitch, and then the map will, your whole Xbox will freeze. Like, what is that, you know? And it never got fixed. It never got fixed. And now it's on Rustlung. Well, it's not like it's on Rustlung now. It's been there since the beginning, but it's, you know, it's on Rustlung. It's on Checkout. I think it might be on 1 or 2 of the maps. I'm not sure. And it's stupid, you know? You gotta always worry about your game glitching out. No one ever bothered to fix that shit. And that right there was DLC that we paid for. And that's maps that we don't even get to play because of that bullshit, you know. Depths got taken out of the rotation completely, which was like, really, like, we just paid for this bullshit, and you're telling us that you can't spend the time to fix the problem. You know, we all just spent all this money on this bullshit, you know. And it, you know, and after reading these articles, it doesn't really surprise me that, you know, shit like this never really got addressed in Gears of War. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like there was people that cared about that game at Epic and people that really didn't give a fuck. And I'm hoping that Black Tusk Studios really changes the attitude, you know, because I hope they kind of adopt what Halo's doing, you know, what 343's doing with Halo. They're trying to bring it back to its competitive roots, which is what they should be, which is what they should have been doing all this whole time. And what do you know? I played Halo 5 and I thought it was awesome. I thought Halo Reach and 4 were just not that good, you know. But that's a whole different rant, you know. But it kind of ties in, you know, the whole Halo thing kind of ties in with Gears of War. Is, you know, Bungie at the end of their days, you know, wanted to move on from Halo, and, you know, Halo Reach kind of came out, and what do you know, it kind of got dropped off the circuit for a while. Maybe these are some of the same reasons as to why these games are getting dropped, is because of lack of developer support, you know, because that really seemed to be a trend in the Gears of War series, is just lack of developer support. Like, if they would have just been there, it seems like Gears of War 1 might have got on the professional circuit earlier or stayed there longer. I'm not sure. It seemed, and you know, if there was good developer support, Gears of War 2 would have maybe stayed on the circuit for a little while longer. And if the people with Gears of War 3 would have just kept up on it, the game would have been a lot better, you know. Because they did a lot of good things with Gears of War 3, but there were still some fine things they needed to iron out that they didn't, and, you know, it never stayed on the professional scene. I know it was there for a little while, but not long enough for anyone to really give a shit, which kind of sucks, you know, because I want to, you know, watch, like, professional tournaments, you know. Like, it'd be cool to one day maybe show up to one, you know. I mean, I'm not the greatest player ever, you know, I'm by means no professional, but there's also no reason for me to try to get super good at this game, you know. I enjoy playing, and so that's enough for me to get on and just try to maybe get better at my wall bouncing or my shoulder lean, or every now and then pick up a bolt hawk or a sniper, try to, you know, see if I can't do something with it, you know. And that's all well and good, but, you know, part of the reason why I mentioned Halo earlier was because I used to play that game a lot, man. And when Halo 3 specifically was around, that's when I really got into it. You know, that's when I got my first Xbox. I was able to play, and I was just big into the MLG scene, man. It just was cool, you know. And I know a lot of people are kind of the same way, you know. I mean, whether you're a fanboy or whether you really, really like the competition or not, doesn't really matter. It's just you like playing it, you know. And, you know, people like us, however many few of us there are, we're never gonna, you know, over the course of the Gears of War series, we got ripped off, you know. We didn't get to go, our game didn't get to go professional, you know. But so it's just kind of BS, you know. But I think the whole reason why I mentioned Halo was because it's a very similar game to Gears of War, you know. But the developers are taking care of it now, and I hope that Black Tusk really gets on that. I guess that's really where I'm going with that. I know I had something to bring off that, but I can't really remember what. So I'll just keep going on, you know. And I guess maybe for the next minute, I'll briefly talk about what Gears of War 1 was on a professional scene. There really seemed to only be 2 teams, you know, that people really were caring about a lot. You know, like 2 main teams. think it was called. I got the link right here. Let's take a look. It's called like Envious or something, and the Insanes. No, the Insanes, and then there was one other team. Infinity and the Insanes. Apparently they were the big two. And I have this link here. This is actually, and this link's actually written by a professional player too. So you get the perspective from a professional point of view, you know, which is something I couldn't offer you. So I thought that was kind of cool. So if you guys, I really recommend you check out those links if you just want to learn more about the Gears of War professional kind of history of the game, you know. And so I guess really the last thing I'm gonna say is, you know, while I'm on the topic, is, you know, us Gears of War players, like I said before, we get the hose because I feel like our developers never really cared about the game past selling it, you know, and keeping it updated, which kind of sucks, you know, because we all get the shaft, man, and you know, it's no wonder why the community has never been able to grow, because the developers aren't there to fix the issues that people have with the game, you know, and issues that truly are affecting the game, you know, not just from a personal like opinion, you know. I mean, they really are, you know, like from Gears of War 3, you know, like I mentioned in video 2, you know, mechanics like the mano kick or you know, stuff like that, you know, half the time you can't tell if it's gonna work or not, or you don't know what's gonna happen. Or there's days where the cover system's just so out of whack, like you don't know if you're gonna take cover, if you're just gonna stick to the wall and not come off. You don't know what's gonna happen. And you know, if they could just iron out and fix a lot of these things like that, you know, with good, you know, like I said previously, you know, with the developers that care about the game, with people who want to really put it on a professional level, I know this game will go to, will make it to a professional scene and hopefully stay there. And I hope Black Tusk realizes that, you know, because with good developers, your community can grow, you know, and with people who care about the game, you can create a good game. And with people wanting to, you know, bring it back to its competitive roots, you know, and specifically with more Nasher gameplay, you know, like I don't really mind, you know, the rifles, they're cool, but they make for kind of a boring viewing experience when, you know, imagine if your competitive, your professional scene, you know, like your top tier teams were mainly all using their Nashers, you know, everyone just going in there and wall bouncing and then diving and dodging and doing all this crazy shit, you know. It'd be a lot more fun to watch than just people post up and cross each other out, you know. It's kind of like, you know, that I mean, I guess to some people that can be cool, but I mean, to me, like, I think I would rather watch, you know, big Nasher battles with a little bit of crossing, you know, with some good like sniper and torque bow work, you know, like, you know, and like how it was really with Gears of War 1 and how it should be, you know, I mean, you know, part of my problem with Gears of War 3 was how open some of these maps are, which is another reason why I chose this video to put here, is because, you know, at first in this game I was really using my shotgun more, and I feel like towards the end half of this game I'm really starting to pull out my rifle more, and it's just not as fun. Not to mention, you know, I have bad wrists from wrecking on my dirt bike over the years, so having to sit there and actually cross with the hammer burst really hurts my my hands. So I can't do it that much, you know. So I would much rather, just from that standpoint, I would much rather have more Nasher combat, because it's more fun. Anyways, it's just more fun, and the teamwork can be there just the same with crossing, if not more. And it's just so much more fun to watch, you know. It really is, and I really agree with that opinion, and that's also on one of these links. So, you know, along with, you know, and I guess just to kind of wrap up that, I'd say, you know, we need good developers, good people who care about the game, that people that want to put it to a professional level. And not only that, but we as a community have to tell these people that, you know, hey, we want it to be there, you know. And the kind of shitty thing is over the years there have been people that have done that, but it's just kind of fallen on deaf ears, you know. And I've been trying to think of a way to maybe get attention from the developers, you know. But it really seems like the only good way to get the attention of someone like that is to just really post forum threads, man. And we, you know, and the reason why I also mention all this is because I feel like the community, we have like a split community, you know. Like it's a 50-50. It's a 50% chance that when you run into a person in the lobby, that they're gonna be cool, and you know, they're gonna enjoy the game, and they're gonna be like, hey, GG, you know, you wall bounced the shit out of me, but I shot you a good few times, you know, good game. Or the other 50 is gonna be that dude who's a complete asshole. And or a troll, you know. And I would say if you guys ever watch my videos or like ever on the Twitch with us, I'd say we're a pretty funny group, but we can also be assholes. But it is what it is, you know. That's just kind of who we are, or who I am. But that's a whole nother topic. But the reason why I mention that is because there's people who are real just dicks in this game, just real assholes, man. And then they get on these they get into the community, they play these games, they talk all this shit, they get on the forums, they just troll everyone, and then it makes it so that people don't even want to participate in threads or in video talk, you know. Like, people don't even want to post videos, or people don't want to comment on threads for getting raged out by some asshole troll or whatever, you know. And you know, when I mentioned us, like, we're not real dicks, you know. We don't go out and really talk shit, you know. We're just, I don't know. You're gonna have to check it out and get a mind for yourself. That's a whole fucking different topic. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but you know, back to our whole community thing is, you know, it's hard to get these videos out and talk to people because there's so many people that are so negative about it, and I don't really feel like we have too many people that really care about the game and really want to push it forward. And you know, that's really where I'm at, is I want to push it forward, and I really want the next gen to be good. You know, I want a sweet experience, you know, just a smooth experience, man. Intense, in your face, smooth, and I want it on like pro circuits. I want you know, multiple platforms of people that, maybe not platforms, but you know, professional platforms, I guess, to pick it up. And, you know, I want this game to go far because it's tailored to go there, you know. Like I said in video 2, it's a game tailored to professional level, you know, but it's never really stayed there, you know. And I hope Black Tusk kind of just realizes that the game is meant to be played this way, and just emphasize on that, and emphasize on what's fun to play, what's fun to watch, you know, and then just kind of emphasize on that, you know. And you know, maybe, you know, and what I mean by that is when the next game, you know, as far as new mechanics or different guns go, you know, make sure that you know, the additions stay true to the flow of the game. You know, it's always been kind of intense, you know, kind of fast paced, and it's been technical too, you know, from the bouncing to the you know, the shoulder leaning and all that other good stuff, you know, cover mechanics and all that. It's been, you know, I really hope they get people in on it, you know, kind of like what 343 did, is bring professionals in. You know, but the shitty thing about Gears of War is there's probably not really any professionals hanging around to really help out, you know. I mean, there's probably some, probably not too many, you know, and that's really what sucks about it. And that's another reason why I'm making these videos, is trying to kind of get the community kind of up and roaring about all this, so that way, you know, we have a little more voice, you know, because, you know, right now we're pretty small, you know, the support team's pretty small, you know, and I hope we can just grow it, you know, get some good constructive thoughts flowing here, you know, not just a bunch of trolls, you know. I already get trolled on these videos enough as it is, you know. It is what it is. So, you know, I'm still gonna pump them out, but it's just kind of after a while you're kind of like, man, can I not like have a decent conversation about Gears of War, you know, like where I think it, you know, ideas for the next gen, or, you know, just talking about the game itself, you know. You know, there's not too many people out there, especially on YouTube, man. Like, it is nice to see some comments every now and then that are cool, but that's a whole other rant, you know. And I think I only got like, how long do I got left in this? Like a whole minute. Yeah, I'll probably, you know, and I'm probably gonna bring this into a part 4, honestly, you guys. You know, kind of go. I mean, I really touched on the professional aspect of the game. You know, it hasn't really made it there. I wanted to. The chances are part 4 is going to be more about me talking about Gears of War 4, talking about what I'd like to see, what I'd hope people would do, kind of more talk about the developers and stuff. You know, it's probably going to be a shorter video, and then probably after that, I'll make a Gears of War Judgment talk, and then I'll probably just do maybe 1 or 2 more videos, but one last one specifically talking about Gears of War 3, just a little more in depth, you know, instead of a broad, you know. But well, anyways, guys, thanks for you know, checking out the video. You know, thanks for stopping by. You know, if you liked it, you know, hit that like button. You know, if you know anyone who wants to watch these videos or who likes commentaries, you know, tell them about it. You know, I want to get the